This article originally appeared on Den of Geek UK. This article contains spoilers for Cobra. We suspect we're the only website to have written those words in recent times. Had Sylvester Stallone had his way, the now cult classic Beverly Hills Cop would have been a much different film. Before Eddie Murphy was cast in the role that would define his acting career, the part of Axel Foley was offered to Sly. Yet the Italian stallion had other ideas in mind for what he wanted the film to be, so he took it upon himself to rewrite the script, molding it to suit his strengths as a white-knuckled mortal Terminator. As screenwriter Daniel Petrie Jr. told Den of Geek UK, while it was considered a coup to have written a script to attract a movie star of that caliber, it was nonetheless a daunting experience. Stallone proposed a lot of changes. He wanted his character to be named Axel Cobretti, instead of the proposed Ellie Axel. Furthermore, the comedic elements were removed entirely, replaced by the grittiness and violence that was commonplace in exploitation fare at the time, along with action set pieces which required a budget deemed unaffordable by Paramount. Ultimately, the studio didn't share Stallone's vision, rejecting his proposed script changes and parting ways with him amicably, and reverting back to one of Petrie Jr.'s earliest drafts. Murphy came on board immediately after Stallone's exit, and the rest is, as they say, history. But that didn't deter Stallone from bringing his idea to life. Citing Paula Gosling's novel A Running Duck, which would be adapted more authentically in 1995 with Fair Game, as source material, he would channel the ideas he had for Beverly Hills Cop into an original screenplay, with sadistic serial killers, a take-no-prisoners plot, excessive carnage and cheesy one-liners only he could execute with the stone-faced bravado required of such a badass protagonist. Cobra was thus born, incorporating just enough elements of Gosling's novel to warrant her a writing credit. It is rumored that Stallone offered to have the book reissued with his name on it as co-author, an offer that Gosling seemed to decline. Cobra would see Stallone re-team with Rambo, First Blood Part 2 director George P. Cosmatos, but, according to reports, Stallone essentially directed the film as well. As we charted in this article, Stallone was reported to have effectively directed the first Rambo sequel, too. That's when, allegedly, his movie star ways weren't disrupting the fluidity of the filming anyway. Believe the stories, and he was fraternizing with then-girlfriend and co-star Brigitte Nielsen, in addition to goofing around to impress his bodyguards. However, in no way did the final product suggest a making-of process beleaguered by the megalomania of its lead star. If anything, Stallone's ego gave him the confidence to pull off his performance with aplomb, even if Cobra was essentially one big vanity project. But a really fun vanity project. The film tells the story of Lieutenant Marion Cobra Cobretti, Stallone, a no-nonsense harbinger of justice who doesn't operate via the conventional channels of police procedure. He is tasked with protecting a witness to a murder carried out by a psychotic axe-wielding sect known as the New Order. His orders are to ensure her safety and put a stop to the cultists' random thrill-killing spree in Los Angeles. What ensues is a tour de force of 80s action cinema. In fact, when people talk about the kind of films they don't make anymore, surely Cobra must be on the list. It's an 80s action blaster, fully equipped with essential genre conventions, delivered with style and punch. In fact, let's go further. At times, Cobra is a borderline horror film, gleefully wearing its exploitation influences on its sleeve as a badge of honor, seamlessly shape-shifting between gung-ho action extravaganza, brutal slasher film, and hard-boiled crime thriller. The slasher elements are evident in the hospital scene in particular, which is strikingly reminiscent of Halloween 2. Throw in some despicable manic villains who wouldn't seem out of place in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel, a high body count and a soundtrack that oscillates between doomy synths and hair metal, and you have yourself a potent cocktail. For make no mistake, Cobra was and is a film that revels in sleaze, packed with scenes that are unsettlingly suspenseful, including an opening supermarket siege that exudes menace and sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Of course, The darker elements are lightened by Sly's constant supply of one-liners, delivered with deadpan precision. Stallone was, it is worth remembering, arguably the biggest movie star on the planet at the time the movie was made. Cobra was very much a vehicle built around that. It should come as no surprise that the film was produced by the Cannon Group, the company synonymous with over-the-top B-grade action pictures during that